Thank you for being with us today, Father Javier. So, Father, we have a few questions for you because everyone knows Father Javier from Sacred Heart. We want to know what's keeping you busy now.
Well, as you know, officially I'm supposed to be retired, but Jesuits never retire. So, in the catalog, the Jesuit official list of our assignment, I am listed as doing pastoral and educational work. Pastoral, I help out before the COVID, but I help out in the Sacred Heart Parish. I think where I would see you now and then at Mass. So I help out there. That's the pastoral part of my work. And at the same time, I was asked years ago to help out in the transition period of St. Benedict. So I thought we should help Catholic lay administered school, and that's where I'm still helping out from a distance. I've not been there since since the start of the pandemic. So those are the two things I'm doing now. I'm supposed to be in the parish, and right now I'm here enjoying the hospitality of Father Manny at the school, where there is plenty of open space, and I particularly like the rubberized oval. So every afternoon, that's part of my schedule. I able to make 6 laps walking, and that's really a big help, because I think it's very important as you grow older to keep active. Otherwise, you'll just deteriorate.
So, Father, you've been part of Sacred Heart for a long time, whether it's the parish or the school. You've seen so many changes. You're seeing, when it was an all-boys school, then they added the girls, and now the new campus, and now with K-12. What are some insights you can share with all of us?
Well, I've always been impressed by, it may sound like self-praise, but I've always been impressed by the Jesuits, the society's ability to not only keep up with the times, but to sort of light new paths. So what has happened, at least during my watch, was the transition from the old campus to the new, from an all-boys school to a co-ed school. And now, as you can see, as you walk around under the very able and dedicated stewardship of Father Manny, the school has continued to move. Looking back, I never imagined that we would end up here. But thanks to the foresight of our leaders, our administrators, and the Chinese Filipino community, also the Cebu community as a whole, we have been able to make that progress. So these have been years. My stay here has been, I think, years of steady growth in response to the new needs and challenges of the times.
What are your most memorable moments, Father? I'm sure you've been assigned everywhere, but I'm sure.
Well, I think one most memorable moment was the trustees' approval of the plan to move to a bigger and better campus. We had long outgrown the campus on Mango Avenue, which has served us very well. You yourselves, you
we were products of the old campus.
But as your gift reminds us, time marches on. And I think that is what happened. We tried to keep abreast of the times and the needs of the Chinese Filipino community and the Cebu community as a whole.
Father, you endeared yourself to the Cebuano community as a whole, the Chinese community, even the alumni, by being very game when it comes to charity. And we also know that a lot of the alumni actually call you to officiate their weddings. So one of our experience, I think it was third year or fourth year high school, was you were handcuffed in the Christmas fair and
Oh, yeah.
and brought to the marriage in the marriage booth.
To the marriage booth.
Yeah. How does it feel to be on the other end of the on the marriage side instead of officiating it for for fun?
Yeah.
How did it feel?
Well, it was all fun. But although we have given up the privilege and gift of marriage, we have, I think, gained something better. That we have helped our students and the people we care for in building up solid Christian families. But that incident, I thought that was a great deal of fun. And it also showed that they knew me well enough to even play a joke on me.
Speaking on marriage. Before you became Father Javier, was there any time that you were thinking of actually looking at a Mrs. Javier?
Ah, yeah, yeah. I'm from Bacolod, and we have just like Cebu, we have very many pretty girls, and it was inevitable as you went through high school because I went to a co-ed high school. That has always been part of, as a matter of fact, you just assume that you are going to find the right girl and marry and settle down until the call came. And not because marriage is less holy or less fulfilling or less wonderful in God's eyes. It's just that they are different vocations. And for some, like for you, marriage was God's plan for you. And for me and for Father Manny and the other Jesuit priests, ordained ministry work was our path.
I always remembered one Jesuit actually mentioned that to me before. I forgot who, but he always said, in marriage, your love is for one, but for us priests, our love is for all, for many.
So that's a good way of putting it. Mm-hmm. It's that both are part of God's plan. Both are gifts from God. Some He calls to the married state, like you, and for some He calls to service.
So, Father, everyone remembers you as the administrator here, the director of Sacred Heart, the president. Have the teachers ever tried to prank you, put a joke on you, surprise you on a very funny joke? Or were they all afraid of you?
No, definitely I like to think they were not afraid of me. As a matter of fact, that's one of the things that I noticed was different in the beginning when I first came here from Cagayan de Oro. Because at Xavier University, we had a very Pinoy style of interacting with each other. And when I first came here, I thought the faculty and even the students were a little more reserved. So, because I thought, that's because of the school culture. So, I've always wanted, and I hope that the faculty, the administrators, and the students did not regard me as someone to be feared, but as a friend. And to me, that's important. You cannot educate people if they're afraid of you.
So, one final question, Father. What was the best part of Sacred Heart for you? What's always been the best part? Every time you recall Sacred Heart, this was always the thing you remembered, that you always hold very important to you.
To me, one of the best parts of coming here to Cebu was a change in my orientation. All those in the past, I've always served in you might consider an all-Filipino Jesuit institution. And coming here to help out in a Chinese, is a like a dual culture institution, has been a very enriching and challenging experience. I'm glad that I had that opportunity of working in a school like Sacred Heart Ateneo, because it's not only Filipino but Chinese Filipino. So perhaps I have gained more from being here than I have given. No? So I consider myself more of a recipient, no? Rather than a donor. I'm glad, I'm happy that I had this opportunity to work in a dual culture Jesuit institution. It has enriched me, made me a better person than I would have been if I just spent my life in what you might call a more homogeneous educational setting like one of our Ateneos.
Any last message to the Sacred Hearters, the alumni, even the new students, the incoming students, parents of the, do you have any message?
Well, first of all, the message of thanks to you, the alumni, for the gift of time. I am touched by your thoughtfulness and remembering me after I have already left
You're
the
hard to
school.
forget, Father.
10,
You are hard
so
to
many
forget.
years. So I want to thank you and at the same time express my joy to see you turn out so well after the bungling and the mistakes that we have made in your formation. Yeah. I think when I look around and see you, I think this school has done very well, and I hope it will continue to do in the future what it has been doing in the past. This is one of the things that I noticed walking around here. You see here a campus that I could not have imagined when we moved out here. It has grown, it has really progressed. That is thanks to the foresight and thanks to the ability, the dedication of Father Manny and those who will come. See, this is one of the strengths, I think, of the society. We are not lone workers. We are basically a team. I could not think of this as possible if we did not have people like Father Eras, like Father Nunez, like Father Hernando, Brother Tremblay, Brother Agudo, Father Manny, and there are many Jesuits who are here. This is, I think, one of the basic strengths of the society, that we are a team. That's why I think we're able to serve you the way we have done.
Thank you so much, Father, for your time.